We have Jerome Horton here with us tonight. He was Trayvon Martin's football coach. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And I know that you're also a friend of Tracy Martin, a close friend. Can you tell us how he's doing?
He's devastated. I mean, he hurts deeply. He feels like Trayvon is looking down on him, and he feels like he let Trayvon down. And basically what I've been telling him is just, you know, you fought a good fight. You know, this has been going on for a year and a half, and he's done everything that he could to get justice, to fight for justice for Trayvon.
And he was in the courtroom every single day to support his son. He still feels like he let him down. Yeah,
he still feels like he let him down because what a lot of people don't know, this seemed like it wasn't a trial for George Zimmerman. This seemed like it was a trial of Trayvon's character, because everything you hear really wasn't about what George Zimmerman did. It was about what Zimmerman portrayed Trayvon as that led up to what he did.
And you knew Trayvon Martin well. Even your son was good friends with Trayvon Martin, right?
Yeah, they were best friends.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Trayvon Martin that you knew? Because as you mentioned, many people are describing him on social media, on television, as a thug. Is that the Trayvon Martin you knew?
And that's the furthest thing from the truth. He was a great kid. This is a kid that he worked at a concession stand, volunteered. And I've watched this kids come up to the concession stand that didn't have money to buy something, and I watched him give them candy, give them drinks, simply because he felt bad. This is a kid with a huge heart. And he was no way close to being a thug as everyone has been portraying him as.
And you even say that you feel the trial was rigged. Why do you feel that way?
I feel that way. I think it came down to who had the better. I think it was all basically smoke and mirrors. And what it is because I don't see how 6 women cannot see what 6 million people see. And I say that because the defense attorneys, I think they did a better job than the prosecutors, hands down. And I think that's what it came down to.
Really? You
Yes.
think that the state just didn't do a good enough job?
That's my honest opinion. I think the state didn't do a good enough job. I watched it every single day, and that's my honest opinion. I've watched the 2 defense attorneys tear down everything that the state did. I watched the state not even have any rebuttals to tear down what they're saying. I mean, granted, they did the story with George Zimmerman. They tried to go into how he did all these interviews and how the stories changed, but they never really went into it.
Now,
they pretty much just let it go.
Now, you say that your son was best friends with Trayvon Martin. How is he handling this? How is your son handling this?
He basically don't like to talk about it because it hurts him. He misses him. He walks around with a Trayvon Martin post card around his neck. That was his friend. They grew up together. They played football together. That's who we know. They hung out together. He talked to him the day before he got killed.
And what did they talk about?
They talked about when Trayvon came home about them being able to hang out that same week, that weekend.
And that's
because the following day was my son's birthday.
The day after Trayvon Martin was killed was your son's birthday?
Was my son's birthday.
Is there any good that you think can come out of this? Any lesson that you or your son will take with you?
I mean, I think a lot was made on him wearing the hoodie. And I think a lot of people are judged like that. I tell my son the same thing. You are perceived as what you look like. It's wrong. That's the society that we live in. I mean, but how many African Americans that we know that went to jail, went to prison for a crime they didn't commit, and years later they got off for a crime that they didn't commit, that they were prosecuted on. That's just the justice system that we have. It's not fair, and it doesn't work. And until it changes, things like this with Zimmerman shooting an unarmed teenager, it's going to continue to happen.